Hey guys, what's up? Serena here from thriftdiving.com. I'm so sorry that it's been, oh my gosh, 3 weeks since I've uploaded a video. Could have been a month. But I wanted to give you a quick update to let you know where I am with the shed. I am still working hard, but I have run into a big problem. And I'm hoping that maybe you can give me some feedback and I will kind of explain to you what is going on and why there's such a huge delay. So let's jump into this right now. So this is what my shed looks like right now. You have actually not seen the video yet for the insulation, but it's coming, and there's a reason why the ceiling is not done yet. So it didn't take me very much time to get the walls done, and I was just about to get started with the ceiling, and I thought, wait a minute, I don't have ventilation in my shed. We could get into a moisture problem. What do I do? So this is what the exterior of my shed looks like. I don't have any soffit vents. Now, typically, if you look up on your house, you're going to see some soffit vents, which allows that air from the outside, the cooler air, to come in, basically cool down your attic in the summertime. And then it also allows all the cold air to come in during the winter time to make sure that your attic is not too hot. Just imagine this is your soffit on your house or on your shed. And I drilled a hole. This is actually a little bit bigger than 2 inches, but it just goes on your drill. It's a hole saw and very easily goes in there. You tighten it up and you can drill a nice tight hole for your soffit. Now this is a plastic one that I got just in a bag from Home Depot, I guess. But when I bought these, I didn't realize, wait a minute, they don't have any screens. I don't want to let any insects in. But essentially what it does is when you put this in your soffit, it's going to allow the cool air to get in. This plastic piece here is called a baffle. So what this allows is for the air that, now let's say I have soffit vents here. It allows for that air to come up and not be blocked by the insulation, right? Because if you have insulation squeezed into here, you're going to block that airflow. This will keep the airflow going from the soffit vents through the ridge vent. It costs maybe $3, a little bit over $3. I'm going to stick this up here very carefully. And when it's in place, of course, this is not totally correct. It gets stapled to the sheathing here, but you have to make sure there's 1 to 2 inches. I think 2 inches is probably preferred, but for me, I don't have a lot of space, so maybe 1 inch. And it allows that air to come in through those soffit vents. See if I can get this thing down now. Please don't fall, Serena, and don't drop this. Here we go. Oh, and then of course, also in the wintertime, you don't want your attic to get too hot. That's how ice dams form, the icicles, and you get into moisture and all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying to prevent. But I am just so lost. I feel like I've consulted so many different people and so many different sources, but nobody has the real answer for how I should proceed. So literally I've wasted, I don't want to say wasted, but I feel like I've wasted the last 2 weeks. No, the last week, it feels like 2 weeks, trying to find an answer. Like, do I use these baffles with soffit vents? And if I do use soffit vents, how in the world am I supposed to get the air to come through here so that it's sufficient? And nobody has a clear answer. And I cannot tell you, like, can you see the frustration on my face? I'm so frustrated right now. Okay, let me show you the other vents, like the gable vents that I was trying to use. So these are the gable vents that I bought from Lowe's. I like them because they didn't cost a lot of money. They were like $15 each. They're metal, although it seems like it's a pretty thin metal, but there's no screen required because it's got these little louvered vents here. So I thought, okay, I got this. I will cut one hole on this side of the gable and one on that side of the gable. Well, everything that I was finding online, it was saying, well, really, if you have a ridge vent, you should have the soffit vents. Don't use the gables, use the soffit with your ridge vent. So I'm like, again, it gets me back to that same question. Well, I don't know if I can do soffit vents. What if I do gable vents? If I were to use this, I have to have one that's smaller because I came in here today and I measured and there's not enough space up there on the gable. Remember, my ceiling is a little vaulted. I got scissor truss. When I ordered from Tough Shed, I went with the scissor truss so that my ceiling was not totally flat. I wanted more head space in here. And this is too big. So if I do the gabled vents, I'm gonna have to get one that's smaller. But then again, that gets me back into the question, will a smaller vent be sufficient? I don't know. And actually, you know what? That actually might not even be too bad. I think the kind that I have, it's not going to fit too well. Because remember, I already have the engineered wood on the outside part. Like, this is not a vent that's being put in while the shed is being built. This is after the fact. So for me to even put one in the middle, I don't think it would work. So in my mind, I was thinking it would have to be a little off center here or off center here. And if I did that, it's not going to fit. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if there's a way to trim down that engineered wood that is on the front of the shed, right there where it's over top of the double plate and where it meets the roof, if I could trim that down just a little bit to allow more of a gap there, then I would be able to put the 2-inch soffits in. And then I'm hoping that that would be enough of a gap to allow that air to come in so that it can circulate up to the ridge vent. But right now I have no idea, and nobody is telling me if that would be an acceptable way, or based on how my shed looks and, you know, how it's built, if the gabled vents would be best. I honestly don't know. And that's why it's taken me so long to get to the next step, which is showing you how I've done the insulation, because I've not even done the insulation. I can't do the insulation in the ceiling until I figure out what's going on with the ventilation. But so far, the insulation in the walls, it looks fantastic. You can tell the sound difference in here already. So it's part 2 of the electrical wiring in the she shed. Super excited about this because I never thought that I would be able to tackle this project myself. I love it. I can't tell the difference in the temperature per se, but well, no, it is not as cold as it is outside, but I'm looking forward to getting the insulation into the ceiling, and then the drywall is coming. And that's a whole other issue because at this point, like, I really want to do the drywall. I want to do the taping, the mudding, but everybody that I talk to, they're like, Serena, you can do the drywall yourself, but you do not want to tape. You do not want to mud. It is a mess. It's just, it's a skill. It's an art. And I get that. I really do. So I may be hiring a company to come in to do the drywall, also just to get it done quick. But here's the thing, to have a drywall company come in, I've gotten 2 quotes. Do you want to guess how much it is? I've gotten anywhere from $3,400 to $3,800. Yes, for the drywall. And I don't know how much it would be if I did the drywall myself and then had another company come in, but I feel like for me to do the drywall, it would take a long time, but I'm okay with that because I really, really want to do it myself. I just haven't had the opportunity to experience drywalling this much space. So I feel like I want to do it. Anyway, so you can see that there's just a whole bunch of questions that are, you know, running around in my mind, and I need to find the right answer. And sometimes it's not very apparent. And I am trying. So I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and just make a video, let you guys know what I'm struggling with. And I make mistakes and I don't know everything, and I will never claim to know everything, but I would really love some feedback. If you are someone who has gone through this, you've ventilated a shed, you know what I should do, or you have an idea of what you think would work in my shed based on everything that I've told you, please do tell me what your expert opinion would be. You don't even have to be an expert. Just tell me, Serena girl, just put the 2-inch soffit in, or do the gabled vents. It's easier. You can get it done. It'll still have the same effect. I would love to know. Because right now, I don't know what to do. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. The next video, hopefully, once I figure this out, will be showing you how I did all the insulation, including the ceiling. But right now, it's looking kind of bare in here. Okay, guys, I will see you next video.